Good evening and welcome to the Florida Weather Watch's weekly weather update. This time for the dates of Monday, March 13th to Friday, March 17th, as many people in the state of Florida will either be on their spring break or preparing for spring break ahead. And there will be plenty of changes ahead and some great changes ahead for the state of Florida as a cold front finally brings relief to Florida, much like I had spoken about in a previous video update with a weather pattern change underway. Well, guess what, folks? It is coming and it is now here for the state of Florida. But before I begin, please make sure that you go ahead and you hit that like button below to show me some love for the work that I do for these videos, as well as hit that subscribe button. And please make sure that you go ahead and share this with as many friends and family as you have in the state of Florida, as this will help grow my channel, grow this community, and help further support my dreams of becoming a uh, more prominent educator in the matters of weather in the state of Florida. So let's get right into the nitty gritty of what's going on currently in the state of Florida because we got a lot of action going on prior to this cold front coming through. Most times I would take you directly to the satellite imagery, but first, I think the most important thing to go over is the severe weather threat currently ongoing in the northern part of Florida in our panhandle. As you see here, there is a line of very strong thunderstorms, even up to severe at times, occurring across the entire northern part of Florida, stretching from Panama City all the way to Jacksonville, Florida. Earlier today, there were a few severe thunderstorm warnings that occurred. If I go ahead and zoom in right here, this little number right here, that was a 1 inch hail report that was reported near Hosford uh, in northern Florida in Liberty County. So there has been some hail, like I spoke about in my update 2 days ago, about the severe weather threat for northern Florida. And also, what you're going to notice is this is the first wave. This is not the cold front itself. So when I go ahead and I zoom back out here, and I'm going to go ahead and change over to the radar near Destin, Florida. Okay, I'm going to change over to the radar near Destin, Florida. What you're going to notice is there's another round of severe thunderstorms that is starting to take shape. You're going to notice that there's all these orange boxes right here. Actually, this is not a good pen color this time around. So let me go ahead and change the color here. This should be much better. You're going to notice right here, there's another batch of showers and thunderstorms, and some of these are getting to severe limits. Wherever you see these orange boxes right here, here, and here, those are severe thunderstorm warnings. Currently in northern Florida, there is a tornado watch until 8 p.m. this evening. So far, though, the fortunate thing, and knock on wood, there has been no tornadoes that have occurred despite the tornado watch. That's because of the fact that the ingredients are just not quite there yet for rotating storms. But don't put it past one of these storms, especially this one right here that is just entering northern Florida from southern Alabama here, north of Crestview. This one looks very impressive on radar right now. It has some very strong uh, readings from radar here, as you can see with these bright purple colors. That is producing hail for sure. I would definitely say that it's producing hail with this severe thunderstorm warning. 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts are possible in this severe thunderstorm warning. So yes, there are plenty of showers and thunderstorms in northern Florida. This will continue through the overnight hours as the remainder of this energy starts coming down further south. Now we're going to switch gears from the radar to the satellite view. And what you're noticing on the satellite view is you can see uh, where these showers and thunderstorms have been developing across northern Florida here. This is where the real action has been in southern Alabama and northern Florida. And you can see that it is starting to propagate and move off to the east over here. And what I want you to pay attention to is back here. You see all this drier air right here. This is where we really will get that northerly flow that is starting to come behind here. And this is where you can actually make out the cold front. And I normally put the cold front in blue, but obviously, since most of this imagery is in blue, it would probably blend in. Our cold front is currently right about here based upon what I can see on satellite imagery, and it will continue to move further south and swing across the state of Florida in the next few days. And actually, will be moving through very quickly, actually, once these storms are really kicking away and off the coast. So that is our current view. You're noticing the thunderstorms over northern Florida. You're noticing the very dry air building into Arkansas, and it will start to push all the way through the southeast United States, and finally clear Florida by the end of the day on Monday into Tuesday. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is now we're going to switch gears to the computer forecast models for the next 5 days ahead. And remember that when I show you these models, I'm not going to go beyond 144 hours out, because at that point, the forecasting consistency and accuracy really is lacking at that point. So we're looking at the GFS model, the American model right now, and we're going to look at the precipitation first. We're going to look at the rainfall and the shower activity, as well as the surface pressures and everything. And as you see, for tonight, you're going to see over northern Florida here, you continue to see these showers and storms across northern Florida here propagating, and these brighter colors indicate some much heavier rainfall and some of the stronger storms we're going to see. So that's going to continue through the night, overnight tonight. Notice in South and Central Florida it's mostly clear, but then as we go ahead through time, you're going to notice how these showers and storms will start propagating further south. By Monday at 2 p.m., we are looking at our cold front starting to move through the northern part of Florida here. It will be getting very cold at night in northern Florida. I'll be showing you how cold that is going to be in a little bit. So this is our cold front that is going to continue to propagate down southward through time here. So this is for Monday, tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock. There could be some showers and some thunderstorms over central Florida, where there is a very small chance for severe weather as the energy starts dying away for these thunderstorms. But as we step it out through time, you can see the rain just evaporates. And the thunderstorms just evaporate as it goes further south, because the energy in the atmosphere needed for it to maintain just dies off. So that's a good news. So this is by 2 a.m. on Tuesday morning. And I want you to notice all of Florida is now clear. I told you that this cold front would come through very quickly. And now what we see is by Tuesday at 5 a.m., the cold front is now going to be moving south of the peninsula of Florida, getting down into the Florida Straits and the Florida Keys down here. And this is where you'll notice these lines here, 552, 558. You're going to notice that the cooler air is really going to sink in from the north here. This is going to be a northerly flow coming down from pretty much Canada at this point. And it's going to really bring some much needed relief to the state of Florida. And as I step it through time, notice how there's not going to be any rainfall to speak of across Florida until we really get into Friday of next week, where we get our next cold front starting to enter the picture. You notice this big, thick line of showers and thunderstorms that enters Pensacola by Friday night. And this will be our next significant cold front coming next weekend for Florida. But currently, it's a little bit too far out. This is now 126 hours out. So this is kind of when the forecasting accuracy of computer forecast models significantly lowers. but it does have some agreement with some of the other computer forecast models. So the last thing I want to show you is the temperatures, and I want to show you the change in the temperatures that it's going to be coming up. And notice how we got currently across much of the Florida Peninsula right here. We got temperatures well into the 80s across the entire Florida Peninsula. Notice how it is cooler across the northern part of Florida. That's because you're having the showers and thunderstorms cooling things down over that area. But I want you to notice the temperatures as I go ahead through time here, and especially as that front clears. Remember that the front clears the Florida Peninsula by Tuesday at 5 a.m. according to this model. And watch this cooler air. 47 degrees in Mobile by tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock, 54 in Pensacola. And this cool air surges down the peninsula. I do have to note it will be very hot across South Florida tomorrow ahead of this cold front, where a lot of warm air will collect and pool over Southeast Florida here. There will probably be areas in Southeast Florida that will be in the 90s tomorrow very easily. But that will get instantly shoved further south to the south as this cold front starts coming in. You could actually even see the boundary of this cold front right here with the differences in the colors going on right here. This is where you got your cold front here. And notice north of the cold front, this is at 5 p.m. tomorrow. You're looking at 67 degrees in Tallahassee at 5 p.m., 68 in Panama City, 64 in Pensacola. This is going to be much cooler air that is finally going to give relief to Florida, even 69 in Gainesville at 5 p.m. tomorrow, when for the past week, Gainesville has been in the mid to upper 80s throughout much of the week. So this is this cold front, this weather pattern change I had previously been talking about, really starting to take effect. Look at these temperatures on Tuesday morning. Tuesday morning, we hit 46 degrees in Tallahassee. That is quite cool for this time of the year, for mid-March. Up in northern Florida, we got 52 in Jacksonville, even 59 degrees, where it's been in the 90s this past week in Orlando for this upcoming Tuesday morning at 5 a.m. 58 in Tampa, and notice it's still in the 70s down here in Miami. That's because the cold front is just starting to clear, so you're not going to see the temperatures really dip in South Florida until the next day. So let's go ahead and step this out through time. Let's continue through time here and look at the temperatures on Tuesday afternoon here. Notice the Tuesday afternoon temperatures. Let's look at these. Tuesday at 5 p.m. Miami, only 74 degrees on Tuesday at 5 p.m. 60 degrees only for Tallahassee on Tuesday at 5 p.m. Orlando, like I said, that's been in the upper 80s to lower 90s much of the week. 72 degrees. Tampa, 69 degrees. So what you can see with these colors here is kind of the flow where this cool air from the north is really going to funnel down the entire Florida Peninsula with very clear skies. So when we go ahead and we switch over to the nighttime temperatures come Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, you're going to notice that we'll be back in the 40s across much of northern Florida. And as we keep on going through time here, it actually looks like it cools down during the day on Wednesday as we get another surge of cooler air coming down the peninsula. Only 69 degrees according to the American model for Miami, Florida at 2 p.m. on Wednesday. Remember, the timestamps are up here. At 2 p.m. on Wednesday afternoon, we're only looking at 69 degrees for Miami. That is much nicer and some much needed relief for South Florida for sure. And then as we step it out through time here, notice the temperatures remain cool over the state. The only reason why you notice the southeast coast of Florida here kind of being warmer than the rest of the state is because there's going to be a return of some flow coming from the east here. And whenever you get this easterly flow coming from the Atlantic, it does warm things up for this area. So you'll notice that the temperatures are going to be warmer across the eastern part of the state than the western part of the state. That's the reason why, but it's still going to be much nicer uh, across the entire state of Florida this week, where we finally will get some heat relief. You'll notice temperatures will start to surge a bit on Friday as we start getting ready for our next cold front. You'll see 80s return to the state of Florida by Friday. But then notice right here, Mobile, Alabama, 63 degrees by 8 p.m. on Friday, and then another cold front. This one actually looks like it's going to be much stronger than the one that we're getting this week. Starts surging on through the state of Florida. And then over the weekend, we could start to see that cold front clear. And then by early next week, we're going to be rinsing and repeating the pattern again. So the bottom line is, ladies and gentlemen, that we are finally going to see that weather pattern change. We're finally going to see temperatures that are much calmer, not calmer. Why did I say calmer? Much cooler, much more comfortable conditions. The heat will be leaving the state of Florida this week. Um, and finally, we will see relief across all of Florida uh, from the heat and the humidity that has been in place. So again, gonna go back to my headlines here. That we finally will be seeing a cold front finally bringing relief to the state of Florida. And please make sure that you like and subscribe this video, ladies and gentlemen. It will greatly help me grow my channel, grow this community, and help me to further my passions as a weather educator. Um, and please make sure that you leave comments down below. If you have any questions about anything I've said in my videos, any forecast requests, please go ahead and leave them in the comment section below. I will be glad to answer any questions or forecast requests. Um, and before I leave, as I always will do, uh, per my late great cross country coach, Jim Richardson, there will be whether or not. But whatever the weather will be, I'll be here to track it and keep you ahead of it. Have a great rest of your Sunday, a great week ahead. Enjoy the much cooler weather that is going to be coming to the state of Florida. And I will have further updates throughout the week as I now am planning to go have at least 3 to 4 videos a week coming out. Thank you very much. Have a great Sunday. Please make sure you like and subscribe. And I will see you again next time.